Hey followers! Today we want to talk about what's coming in December, because as you know, it's the end of the December and it's then getting really important what we want to see. And because on Thursday we didn't talk about some tips, I will show you some tips what you can use in your analysis. So stay tuned and let's go. What do we see first on the next week, and then we talk about the December and what we could see in the December. So let's go. So what do we see first? First of all, we see next week we see PPI news, nothing special, and I think over that, which is on Friday, we don't see much coming on the US dollar. We get the ISM on Monday, but that's it, right? And then the week after, we will get some high impact news, and as you know, we will get on the 13th, we will get, if we're applying on that, on the 13th, we will get, where is it now, on the 14th, we will get the FOMC statement, which will be very important, right? And this is what everyone is waiting for, right? CPI data and the FOMC statement, the federal funds rate. And from right now, we see 78% is already priced in, that we see a 50 basis point change instead of a 75 basis point change. And what do I think about it? So let's say it this way, right? Let me open my Epic pen so I can show it to you. So I think there's more way to the downside than to the upside. Because like if we're getting this one, which is already priced in, and that's why we saw some moves to the upside, right? Then we get that and we don't see much. Maybe we see a candle which is going up and then going down again, or vice versa, like going up and going down and then going up. But we don't see much, right? But if we're seeing this event here, then we could see a lot, right? Because then I think the market will move further down, because everyone is expecting normally right now, because Jerome Powell said that we may be slowing down the increase of the interest rates, but then we would see a massive move to the downside. But actually, I still think people misunderstand the interest rates, because if we're going to checking again, and I was talking about a lot of times, if we're checking again, this in orange is the interest rates, right? Let me take off my camera so you can see it better. The orange one is the interest rates, and every time we're going down, the market normally found its top, right? So when we go flat and then going down, so when the market is pivoting. So here again, the market is pivoting, the market found its top, the interest rates going down, the market is going down, right? Same here, market is going sideways, so the interest rates pivoting, market topping, interest rates going down, market is going down. Same level here, we pivot, interest rates going down, we had the high, and then we got the corona crash. So we could have the same here, right? But what does it mean? That would mean as well the S&P has still some move to the upside, and as well as the crypto has some move to the upside. But don't think that we have already the bottom in, because again, just thinking about where is the money going, right? And who has to sell their bitcoins. And it's not you right now who has to sell the bitcoins, obviously, because you're watching the video and you are believing in crypto, right? It's the people who has to sell because they don't have cash anymore. So they're going to start first selling their cryptos, then selling the cars, and then selling their homes, right? Because it's super easy to sell the bitcoins. So if you have less money, and ask yourself, when does it happen? When does it happen when you have to sell your cryptos? Obviously, when you don't have anymore a job, right? So when you don't have a job anymore, then you have to sell your cryptos, because somehow you have to generate some money, or you have to go to your savings. So when the unemployment rate, this is the gray box here, is going up, then normally we found our top, or obviously when we find the the top of the unemployment rate, we found the bottom. So if the unemployment rate is increasing, then the market is going down, right? And this is all times the same. So if we're seeing it here, right, market is going up, the unemployment rate is going up, the market is going down, the unemployment rate finds its top, and then the market is moving to the downside. So every time when the unemployment rate is coming down, we see a push in the market. Obviously, because then more people can buy some stuff for the economy and all this stuff. So be careful about when the interest rates are coming, when we going to the interest rates and inflation, because as well I think important is the February one, so next year February, and then as well the December one, because I think these are the most important events. And if we coming to how to analyze the market, let's give a quick overview on BTC, and then I will come to my tip. Okay, let's delete that, and we coming first to BTC. And what do we see in BTC? BTC actually went to the levels, like it still has place to that level here, to this level here. We have, let me delete that one. We have place to the maximum high to 23,000. I still don't think that we're gonna reach it. And then I think we have place to, yeah, I think it is 6 months. Yeah. And then we have place to 20,000, which will be around as well my fair value gap plus order block, which is a nice level. And over here we have, let me check it. Yep. And over there as well, if you check the latest VWAP, we have here around 18,000. We have a big level where the market could move to the downside, but we have as well the upper value from the latest months where the market could go as well, right? And you see we just trading into the latest months. So if we're going to close below this one, then we see a massive drop, and we see easily the 14,000. As I said, I'm still expecting this level, but we never know when it's coming. And over the weekly way, you see there's nothing. Yeah, this one. Over the weekly one, as you saw, we didn't got the close below the VAL low from previous session, from previous week, so the market is going up, and then normally we see this level again, this one, and we got it this week. It's fine, and now it will be interesting what we do on the next week, because next week's box will be like that, and what we do if we're closing above it again, and then maybe we're coming back, testing this green line again, and then we will see if it's holding and we see some push to the upside. But to be fair, this is not really mattering, because if you're starting a new month, or if you're starting a new year, let's talking about a new year, right? Because now we're coming to my tip, and then we're going into our ETH. So if you're going to weekly, right, and then you have your, okay, this is quarter, let's go to daily. If we're going to daily, right, then you have your months to months. So this is 1 month. Every line you see here is a month, right? And if you're starting this one, so if you start this level here and this level here, then which is the most important thing you have to know is that every time, either the first 2 days of a week or the first 2 months of a year are giving to 88% the high or the low for the year. So what does it mean? If you're checking this one, right, and you're checking this one, this is the high or the low for the year. If you're checking, for example, yeah, I mean, this was obvious, right? We had, again, that low. That high. And it was again that for 88%. So normally, if we don't see a big much move to the upside, right? Like a crazy move to the upside, like this box here, which is crazy and huge. You normally see a normal trend here. In this case here, obviously, like this move here was already from the down to the upside 100%. So this is normally like, you know, this will be not a huge trend here because the whole movement was already in the first 2 months. And you can see that as well if you're checking now the first 2 days of a week, right? If you're checking the first 2 weeks of a week, you see here again, same situation. This is the low, Monday. This is the high, Tuesday. And this is the high or the low for the week. So in this case, this is the low for the week, right? Same here. Look at this. Same here last week, Monday and Tuesday. This high, low, and you see again, this was the low for the week. And it's all times the same. So you just have to take every time the first 2 things of a week, of a year, like the first 2 days of a week, the first 2 months of a year, or the first 2 weeks of a month, right? And then you have already the conclusion where the market is heading to for the whole time, for the whole rest days. So for the conclusion, I still think BTC has plays to the upside, right? Still a lot plays to the upside actually. We could still see, if we're going back 1 hour, we still could see this 20,000 line, which is huge in my opinion, if the market is going there. Yeah, we still have to see if the market can go there, and we have here this level, which is huge as well, because I still think the market could go bounce as well on 18,000. So 18,000 is a nice level to short, and on ETH, if we're going there to the conclusion, it could go already from there to the downside. The only thing what I don't like to see, we are here on the fair value gap, which is nice. The only thing what I don't like is the double top we have here. So we have a lot of buy side liquidity here. I move it here. We have some buy side liquidity here. And this is the only thing why I think ETH could still going up. But besides that, I still think ETH has plenty of room from here on to the downside. And you see the VAL is still holding, right? VWAP low is still holding. We pitched into our fair value gap and saw our movement to the downside. And now it's interesting what it's going. And as you see, the previous VWAP was holding as well. And yeah, from here on, the market can move down to the downside. And as I said, to 90%, the market is moving into the VAH, this one, and the VHL. So in this zone, the market is normally moving. And the market doesn't like to move in that and in this one, so in the upper zones, right? So yeah, there's still move to the upside a bit, but again, there's more risk to the downside than to the upside, and I still don't think that we found the bottom. And as you see, in February, I think there will be the latest hype about interest rates and inflation, because then interesting will be the unemployment. And yeah, I think when we see the unemployment, because if the unemployment is going higher, then people have to sell their bitcoins maybe, and then we have the other group, the miners, who has to sell because they have to pay their electricity, and then we have to then people has to sell which has which has to pay the money back which they lend from other companies. So overall, I still think we have moved to the upside, but I don't think that much. And then we will go further down. And yeah, but overall, stay safe. Next week, not that much interesting news. Yeah, in that case, have a great week. And yeah, we're gonna hear us on Tuesday again. Bye.